Y'all, have you considered when Jesus anticipated the storm and Peter and the disciples were in the boat with Jesus and he invited people to go across the basically it's ocean to get to the other side of this other island and said, hey, let's go over there. You may as well say over yonder. And he knew that they were going to encounter a massive storm. He recognized that these men were fishers of the sea, fishers of the ocean. They were, a lot of them, this is what they did, right? So this is what they did day in, day out, night in, night out. He knew. And he, as a fisher of men, also, he was in his prime and his professional prime and personnel. And so, how many boats were following them, right? Of how many people were going to go join them after he had performed all of these miracles and shared all of these stories and, I want to say, parables and expressed to them, his teachings and, if you want to say, concerns and such as well. How many of them with that? How many boats were going with them? I don't have the verse right off the top of my head because I had it yesterday and I can't remember right this second. But a couple things I want to notate and share about it, I guess, would be that. Hold on. 1:47 on the clock. One of the things I would want to say about it is, like, in their desperation, they sought God. Just like our human ego remembers, oh, wait, there's somebody outside of myself that I could go to. If you don't know God, he's not typically, he doesn't want to be somebody that you come to when you're, like, ready for a snack. Or you're there for, like, oh my gosh, I'm living my life, I'm making my own decisions, blah, 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 doing so great. He doesn't want you, like, living life alone. He wants to be in your life with you, making decisions, talking with you, sharing his perspective. He has the entire blueprint. He sees every detail. He sees the aerial view. He sees profile view. He sees the ground up kind of views. He sees all of the different views, and he knows how you're made. He knows how many follicles and hair you have on your head. He knows how many times you smile and how many different ways. He knows what teeth are there and not missing, are there or not. I was gonna say and missing. Okay, that's different. Yes, he knows. He knows if you like to wear matching socks or different earrings, or you get a tattoo that is a code for something, and you only color in part of it, like with actual color and certain types of coloring. That's like, oh, I only did like bright colors here instead of pastels, or I did pastels instead of whatever, or like, I don't know, glow in the dark is coming to mind. That could even be for, I want to say, body paint. That was really cool when I found out a couple different people do body paint and stuff, and that's fine. But like, just like a lot of different, and I see races, like running a marathon, like that kind of race. If it means something else to you, that's fine, but I only have the highest loving vibrational intention here, so don't take it as anything else of what we're talking about with it, because I have a deep appreciation and unconditional love for people in general, and for the soul within a person, and so everybody gets I want to say a fair shake with me. Fair shake with me. And what do you say about, I'm going back to the marathons, I'm going back to like the different activities and themes that you can do with such. What were we talking about, y'all? What were we talking about? Okay, hot cocoa. Yummy. I could go for a hot cocoa right now. I don't like mine with water, but I would take it with milk. Amazing. Okay. Okay, hang tight. I was gonna say, okay, so when they're like, oh my gosh, Lord, like, they couldn't believe that he was sleeping through the storm. And all all that Jesus had to do was, like, Jesus literally created by the breath of his mouth, by the release of the words, and the expectation that it would be done with his God authority. God is his Father, right? Like, it's basically like he spoke earth into being, so why would the earth not respond to him when he calmly wakes up out of a deep sleep? I'm almost like, well, he's been to hell and back, and pretty sure that the storm was like, he's fine, like, I'm the creator. But anyways, he just got up and said, hey, quiet, be still, to the winds and the storm. And it wasn't until at that point when these professionals in their fields, right, it literally shook them. So you know how sometimes, like, when people of chaos, like the worlds are chaos, or they come from whatever kind of climate of chaos, no matter what degree or anything of that, when there's calm and peace, this is not what we're going to talk about, but God loves to share things that we're not going to talk about initially. Let's get me on here and share with you guys. And then they come into a space of peace. It can be as terrifying as this huge, massive storm that God said, quiet, calm yourselves. Just like in the Bible, he's constantly telling us, and even angels are telling people in the Bible, do not be anxious. Allow your mind to literally just like rest in peace, knowing that God has got this. And I love that one of the epiphanies is that Peter and the different disciples that were with Jesus, they had Jesus in the boat. And it wasn't until Jesus delivered for something that their head, they couldn't fix from within their head. Their hearts, they thought that they were committed. They followed Christ. They followed him everywhere. They see him doing all these wonderful wonders and these beautiful, miraculous things, right? They see that. And yeah, that can be like, wow, that's amazing. But so much time, like so often when people are, how do you say, y'all, this is one of the reasons, Lord, help me to share this. I wish I could just show you guys the visuals in my head. I've always been that way. I wish I could just show you this. Okay, let me think about this again. Hold on. Basically, Jesus, when we were talking about this the other day with somebody, it was like, I was telling them, I said, okay, this is an inner storm that you're dealing with, an inner storm that God is calling you to rest. That inner storm of anxiety, that inner storm of chaos and conflict and just different things like that. And so often, especially the world or people of faith or whatever, it's easy to say, oh, that's the enemy talking to you, or it sounds like the enemy's in your head, or yeah, it's really easy to push things away and not really understand, or think somebody could be crazy about something or whatever, or I don't know, like, it's so easy for people to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna slap this label on this person and not think anything of it, or this group, or like whatever, and then be like, I don't know how you would describe this, y'all, because it wasn't until the disciples were in the boat freaking out for their lives, their livelihood, thinking, okay, this is it, we're gonna be food for the sharks, all of this. They sought Jesus in the deepest of his sleep. He was there, but sometimes I was gonna say Christ consciousness. Isn't that interesting? Like, Christ's consciousness, how conscious was he if he's asleep? Because he's traveling somewhere else, because he's praying for somebody else in his sleep, because he's, doing the works of God in his sleep. He's resting his body, his mind and soul. And then in that moment, they reached out to him from the spiritual realm and pulled him into the 3D physical realm and said, Jesus, save us, do you not care? Basically, I don't remember the verse. I'll have to go back. But we seek him in our trenches, and he is there. And that is oftentimes a great breakthrough when we have. So, okay.